about 50 pages into The Silent Stars Go By, and I'm absolutely loving it. It is so reminiscent of a really good, gripping period drama, and I'm just so overwhelmed by the way Sally Nicholls has really written the emotion of Margot into the book. I find myself getting so emotional sometimes by the way that she describes the grief and longing of Margot towards her own child, because the child is being raised by her mother because she was unmarried and too young at the time when she fell pregnant. And so the child is kind of growing up thinking that Margot is his older sister. It's just so heartbreaking. Like, there's such strong emotion written into the book around this, and I just find myself nearly tearing up in some parts. Like when the son falls over and then he shouts out for his mum, but he's not looking at Margot, he's looking at his grandmother. And then Margot's reaction to that is it's just so painful for her. But there is this one line in it that I just want to read you, because this just filled me with the emotion that Sally Nicholls is writing so well into this novel. She'd found it impossible to remember her love for Harry. All she could feel was the loss of that warm little body resting against her chest. That baby who would grow up calling another woman mother. What could anything mean compared to that? And that's just so sad. I just find myself so emotional towards the characters in the book, especially Margot, and this kind of animosity that she's built up with her own mother, because she feels resentment towards the mother raising her son, because to the son that's his mother, but to Margot she's constantly on the outside of the family unit. But yeah, I'm really really enjoying it. It definitely has tones of Call the Midwife, which is one of my all-time favourite programmes. I actually haven't watched the last season of that, so I might watch an episode or two of that today. I have no other plans really, I just want to read a lot today and get cozy and make some hot chocolate later. Morning, happy Thursday. I don't know why my hair is like this, but anyways, I got some blue light glasses and I wore them yesterday for the first time, and I actually found that they helped a lot with while working on my computer all day. So loving this little moaning myrtle chic going on. So yesterday I finished The Silent Stars Go By, and oh my god, I absolutely loved that book. It was so good, it was so emotional. Sally Nicholls has done a great job of capturing the characters' emotions on the page. Just really, really good. And I watched some Call the Midwife yesterday. The book was so reminiscent of Call the Midwife to me. So yeah, then I had some of the cookies that came with the book, which this is like the cutest little PR package ever. All these little packages that were strewn throughout the book that said open on page 4, page 50, page 112. And that really like added to the cozy Christmassy atmosphere of the book. Really really enjoyed it and can't wait for my stop on the Bookstagram tour. So now I am reading What Girls Are Made Of by Elana K. Arnold. I page 50. So I just started that last night, and I wouldn't say I'm enjoying it. Like, it's not a fun book. So far, it's very much an insight into the mind of the main character, who is a teenage girl who has grown up thinking that love is conditional. So love is based on a factor of conditions set for you by the other person. And so it's charting her relationship with this boy called Seth, who's in her school. She's stating that their relationship is based on a set of conditions such as sex and never calling him, never needing him, never contacting him, and just all of these kind of strange things. And the way that she's so accepting of his behaviour towards her, even though it's very controlling and just very little respect coming back from him towards her. And so then we're just reading through her mindset and how she views the world. So it's Friday, and last night I managed to finish reading What Girls Are Made Of by Elana K. Arnold. So when I first started reading the book, I didn't think I was really connecting to it as much. Nina has a very strong voice, and she's very sure of things, and she knows that she bends herself to fit in a positive way around everyone else. And this did kind of grate on me at first, because at first I was thinking, well, why are you doing this? Why are you changing yourself to please everyone else? And, you know, why can't you just be yourself and please whoever will be pleased? But then you find out more about Nina herself, about her home life, about her parents, about her friends, about the way her boyfriend and hers relationship works. And then you realise that Nina has always grown up being this way, and she is taught to be this way, conditioned to be this way. So you can't judge her on her actions, because they're the only actions that she knows. And then as I went on through the story, and Nina was beginning to question these behaviours and why she had to perform them, and one of the things that I really thought was the biggest takeaway of the book, like the thing that made me really end up thinking about, was this theme of unconditional love and whether unconditional love is real or not. For example, Nina, when she's 14, her mum tells her just straight out, there's no such thing as unconditional love, and even though I'm your mother, I could stop loving you at any time, based on a series of conditions. And she states that there's conditions to her and her father's love, so between the mother and father, such as her being young and pretty and being willing to put up with him, and that he will buy her nice things and a new car every 3 years, etc., etc. And so then for Nina to hear this when she's 14, we can see how that really shapes her view on the world and her view on relationship, because with her boyfriend she views their relationship as needing to have conditions that she needs to meet, but she doesn't see any conditions that he has to meet in order to keep her. I thought that was a really interesting takeaway from the book about whether the idea of unconditional love, if it's real or if it isn't, and we see that explored with a few other characters in the book. And even though the book is only 178 pages, it really did pack a punch. But what I felt really sold the book to being a 5-star read for me was the author's note at the end of the book. So if you are reading the book or you want to read the book, please, please, please make sure you read the author's note at the end of the book. It's only like 2 pages long, but it really struck a chord with me and it really drove home the themes of the book. So yeah, I just can't recommend this book enough. Like, this is really a book that I'm going to be thinking about for a long time, and definitely going to be one of the standouts of the year for me, I think, just because of how resonating it is with me. And I'd never even heard of this book before. I was just browsing the shelves at my library and seen the colour of the spine, so then I just picked it up, read the back, and thought it sounded interesting and just brought it home on a whim. And now it is like definitely going to be one of those books I tell people about, especially in terms of exploring growing up as a woman and feminism, relationship with parents and how that affects you in childhood and stuff, especially in the way that it explains how your environment that you grow up in can shape your views and shape you as a person as you grow. But yeah, definitely a book I'm going to be thinking about for a long time. I really, really enjoyed it. So I can't believe that both books I've read this week have been 5 stars that I've like really loved. That hasn't happened for so long, and I'm so glad. The book I'm going to pick up is Sorta Like a Rockstar by Matthew Quick. Matthew Quick is the author of the Silver Linings Playbook, which I haven't read, but I've seen the movie and I didn't really enjoy. But he wrote one of my all-time favourite books that I never hear anybody talk about. So forgive me, Leonard Peacock, which I'll insert a photo of here. And that is one of my all-time favourite books, but I've never heard anybody talk about it. If you take away some recommendations from this video, I'll be really happy. I'm going to start reading this today, probably get a good chunk of it read today because I'm just like really in the reading mood today. Also, I think there's a Netflix movie made of this book, so if I finish the book this weekend, that is definitely something I'm going to watch. I haven't seen any reviews of it though, or heard anyone talk about it, so I don't know if it's actually good or not. But yeah, that's my little update. I have this like really nice orange dress on, some of my favourites, so I am going to make some tea and I'm gonna start reading Sorta Like a Rockstar. So basically what I think this book is about is it's about a girl called Amber, and she is really talented musically, and so she's really successful in that area, but she has a secret that nobody knows about. So basically she's homeless and she's living on an abandoned school bus with her mother, who is an alcoholic. So she has this really difficult home life, but she never lets anyone into it, so she puts on this like happy upbeat persona while she is at school and performing and everything else. So I'm hoping that that's going to be a really interesting insight into her life. I'm looking forward to this. So forgive me, Leonard Peacock is his only book that I've read, so I'm really looking forward to reading this one and watching the movie when I finish it. So I'll update you later with my thoughts as I start the book. Also, I'm still loving these blue light glasses. I've been wearing them since Wednesday, and I found that they've been really helpful with stopping my eye strain and screen related headaches that I sometimes get. So yeah, I highly recommend getting a pair. Happy Saturday. I didn't update earlier because I was gone on a walk and went out for some lunch. Then just kind of ended up watching Shrek and getting a Chinese. Yesterday I managed to read over 200 pages of Sorta Like a Rockstar by Matthew Quick. I was thinking that this was going to be another 5-star read for me, but I'm just not feeling the hype. I'm not feeling the connection to the characters. For me, I feel like the book is one that you just kind of breeze through, and there's a lot of serious topics being talked about in the book, but I just don't feel the connection that I would usually have to a book that I'd give 5 stars. But I am only 100 pages from the end, and I'm definitely going to keep reading, and maybe I'll watch the movie tonight or in the morning. Only like 8 o'clock I think, so it's not too late. So I'm also happy that Biden got in the American elections, because the whole elections has just been the biggest stress this week. I think everyone has been thinking and worrying about it. At least that's over now. I'm just going to continue reading and see if the last 100 pages makes me love this book anymore, or if it's gonna stay at a 3-star read for me. So it's now Sunday. I didn't read anything today. I just spent the day tidying the house and fixing my bookshelves, putting some books back on the bookshelves that I had taken off and just never gotten around to putting back on, and then decorating them with some fairy lights and ivy. And so I just spent the day kind of cleaning the house and making a roast dinner for me and my family. Then I watched the I'm a Celebrity special, which I'm so excited for this year. Like, I feel like that is really going to be a fun thing to watch, especially due to this new lockdown. So yeah, looking forward to that. I'm so glad I read such good books this week. I didn't really enjoy Sorta Like a Rockstar as much as I thought I was going to. I watched the movie adaptation last night and then I fell asleep, so then I finished it this morning, and that was just okay. Like, the movie, it changed so much that it might as well have not have been an adaptation of the book at all, which, I don't know, did it make it better? Did it make it worse? It was enjoyable. I'd give both of them like a 3 out of 5. It was good. It wasn't really that good, but it wasn't bad. All the other books I read this week were so good. I think my favourite of the week is definitely The Silent Stars Go By, because that made me cry so much and it was just so good, and it was just definitely that Christmassy period drama mood that I needed this week to get me back into the swing of reading books and really enjoying them. And I'll be back tomorrow filming another reading vlog. I kind of want to read like some wintry thrillers, because I feel like winter is a great time to read thrillers, and there are so many YA thrillers that have been hyped up lately that I haven't read. So maybe that's the theme of next week's reading. We'll see. See you next time.